obviously you've not only created a massive world for people to come into your environment, but now you've partnered up with another really massive real estate business person, Ben Kinney, and created Place Inc. So what are some of the things that led you guys to make that decision? And now what opportunities do you see coming from having such an expansive network like Place Inc.?
Yeah, I think what led us there is a love of two things. It's truly a love of the real estate agent. Both of our worlds and family's history has been affected greatly by real estate itself, by the industry. And we both have spent years around real estate agents, running brokerages, coaching agents, building teams. I'll be honest and say I will not, and anytime I sit down and I may get into business with someone, truly partner with someone or hire someone, I will look for whether or not they love real estate agents. And I know that that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I think some people are in the industry and they don't love real estate agents. They self-proclaim they don't really love real estate. They just like business. They want to build a big business, and you could do that here, but that's not for me. So it was number one, the love of real estate agents, and number two, actually loving the consumer. Like, we absolutely believe that every single human being should be on the path of home ownership. Ben's mission, right? Our mission before we joined was to build experiential lives through real estate. His mission was to deliver the dream of home ownership everywhere. Interestingly enough, you combine those two, and it's just perfect in our minds. And so we actually wake up fascinated every day by how do we make this easier? How do we make home ownership, the barrier to entry of home ownership, easier? And so what that has led to, and I'll get to the agent in a minute, but what that has led to is realizing that we need to take control of the value proposition that our company or organization or business platform offers to a buyer, to a seller, to an investor, right? To a builder or developer. And so that is real estate sales and real estate development and real estate mortgage and money and real estate title and escrow and property management and insurance. And like, all those things do need to get easier. It's happening. There are plenty of people stepping into that space that actually I truly believe, do care about the consumer, love the customer. And some old minded brokerage models say, oh gosh, we don't like them because they're stepping into the industry. Well, step on in. Like, the industry needs to be changed to make it easier and better for the consumer. Now, the difference is this: we combine that love of the consumer with truly the love of the real estate agent and the industry itself. And so I wake up every day truly and ask myself, how do I make this easier? Like, our world, our industry, real estate agents are faced with a lot of big problems. We have operations problems, we have sales problems, we have lead generation problems, we have marketing problems, right? We have database problems for sure, we have technology problems, we have all these problems. And I wake up and say, how do I make each one of those just a little bit easier? Like I've always said, and I got this from Gary Keller, right? An awesome mentor of mine for a long time, but he said one day, years ago, he said, your biggest business opportunity is going to be able to provide simple solutions to complex problems. And that's it. Like, the most brilliant businesses, that's all they do. They recently published every single letter that Jeff Bezos has ever written to his shareholders in a book, right? And so you can go and read year after year after year after year after year after year his letter penned to shareholders. Now, shareholders, those that are waiting for a return, right? They want the value of the company to go up. They want him to build something incredibly valuable, and clearly he's done that, incredibly valuable, so they get a return on investment. But you know what? Every single letter there's two things. There's two messages in every single one of those letters. The first message is that he wakes up every day and says it's day one, right? It's always day one, no matter whether I have a $1,000 company, $1 million company, $1 billion company, it's day one. And he stays there in day one because I believe that he cares so much about the consumer. He cares so much about his customer that he wakes up every day and say, how do we make this easier? How do we get this to them faster? How do we give them more choices? How do we drive down prices? And some people will say, well, he's destroying small business, or he's destroying all these other industries. And he sees it differently. He says, I am giving human beings what they want. And in the process, I employ more people than any other company on the face of the planet. So is that a bad thing? And truly his mission is the consumer. So for us at Place, like, we have two loves. It's the real estate agent and making their world easier, because if it's easier, they can do more. If they do more, they will make more. If they make more, guess what? They can give more, and they can live experientially. So that's a huge part of our mission. On the flip side, the consumer, we got to make it easier. We have to deliver better value to the consumer. And guess what? If we do, they will buy houses. And when they buy houses, we believe that that's the path to wealth building. And wealth building allows us to live experientially as well. Like, home ownership is incredibly experiential. And so those two things, like, that is the opportunity. And every single day we improve our value proposition to consumers, and we improve our value proposition to agents, such that when you wake up, you look around and say, oh, guess what? By focusing on those two things, you've grown a ridiculously large business that will continue to scale if done the right way. And it doesn't have to be that big, guys. It could be as small as a solo agent, right? Hey, like, how do I solve simple, like, complex problems with simple solutions in my solo practice, or in my team of 3, or in my team of 10? And then I do think we need to wake up and say, is the organization, is the company, is the brokerage that I'm plugged into, if I'm plugged into one, delivering or giving me solutions as an agent, but also thinking about the consumer? Are they thinking about how the consumer interacts online? Are they thinking about how the consumer interacts with mortgage or title, or these other ancillary services, to make that process easier for them?